Today on Global News Morning, we take a look at Saskatchewan's protests against alleged gender ideology policies in schools. And steal of the draft, we meet the Saskatchewan Rush's highly rated first-round pick in the National Lacrosse League draft.
You're watching Global Regina. This is Global News Morning.
Good morning, I'm Brenden Purdy. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. Protesters marched in cities across the country on Wednesday, taking aim at alleged gender ideology policies in schools. One of those protests took place at the Saskatchewan Legislative Building. Supporters of the movement gathered from Prince Albert to the Queen City and at several locations in between. However, as Brody Ratcliffe tells us, they were met with counter-protests. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe spoke on the protest while at a funding announcement in Saskatoon, saying that everyone has the right to protest regardless of their view on the issue.
People have the opportunity to raise their voice in support or in opposition of various policies, whether they be government policies. We'd ask them, if you're going to do that, to do so peacefully and respectfully of those that may agree or may disagree with your view on that particular policy.
During the demonstrations on Wednesday, some protesters singled out the ARC Foundation's SOGI 123 program. Several signs could be seen accusing the organization of grooming children and sidelining parents. However, the group says claims that they teach sexual education to kids are false, as that's not what the SOGI program is about.
No, we're not involved in sexual health education, and that's a common misperception. Instead, we create safe and inclusive schools through supporting educators with tools and resources.
Grace says SOGI includes parents in all their work, adding that they believe students are best supported when school staff and parents work together. Continuing their process of getting younger and more dynamic, the Saskatchewan Rush are celebrating the additions of 7 prospects into their system, including one who could be the steal of the National Lacrosse League draft. The Rush selected 12th overall in last weekend's draft and nabbed 6'4" forward Levi Anderson. Rated as the 3rd best prospect by the NLL in their pre-draft rankings, Anderson split his season at St. Joseph's University and with the St. Albert Miners.
Surreal. It's been a long time coming. Watched the NLL growing up ever since I was under 10. And, I've always been a Sask fan, growing up in Alberta too. It's closer to home. The green's always been a staple that I've always watched growing up, and I'm excited to be a part of a great program.
Former Saskatchewan SWAT defender Sam Marshall was also selected in the 5th round by his hometown club. Rush training camp begins in November. All right, time to check in with Moises, talking some good news. We're warmer than the 2 degrees we started with yesterday, but before I get to that, it's only 8, so it's not great, folks. But playing lacrosse outside right now, a little one-on-one would be fun, but whipping that ball around, whoever got stuck in net, that would stink.
Ooh, you'd be wearing pillows all over your body because there's no way that you're wanting to get hit by a ball when it's this cold.
No, I'm way too soft for that, Moises.
Same. I'd be looking like the Michelin Man in net if I was taking a shot.
Thanks for that, Moises. Yesterday's executive committee meeting discussed the possibility of an increase in property tax for city residents. Our Janelle Lippi is live on location at City Hall this morning to break down the conversation. Good morning, Janelle.
Back to you, Brendan.
Thanks, Janelle. Our Janelle Lippi out live on location at City Hall this morning. It's a random act of kindness in exchange for another. One Regina florist is planting bouquets around the city for residents to find. Petra Jansen is the owner of Wascana Flower Shop and has been in the business for over 4 decades. Each bouquet includes a yellow note full of well wishes.
We're in a hard place in the world right now. And I think we all just need some joy and need to know that somebody else cares. And I think that's the most important message. If we give you flowers and we make you feel like you're special, that's what it's supposed to be.
Bouquets are made up of yellow roses, green spider mums, and feather Gerber daisies. Jansen says that she lets her drivers pick where they drop the flowers off at random. Still ahead, the turmoil continues. India is now suspending visa services in Canada. More on deteriorating relations between our 2 countries coming up. But before we get to those stories, time for a look outside our Global Regina City Cam, brought to you this morning by Capital Ford Lincoln, all part of the Capital Automotive Group, as cameraman Stu giving us a nice shot of the fountain and the flowers down at City Hall, where he and Janelle Lippi have been this morning. You're watching Global News Morning on this Thursday. We'll be right back with you after this short break. Okay, Moises, did you really just say Cochin Ocean?
Oh yeah, baby.
I've spent a fair amount of time up at Cochin. I've never heard Cochin Ocean.
No? Oh, first time? Well, I mean, Jackfish Lake.
I was going to say lighthouse.
But Cochin Ocean, baby.
All right, moving right along. The skeleton of a dinosaur is set to go on the auction block in Paris next month. Well, nowhere near Cochin Ocean.
Yeah, exactly. This dinosaur, whose name Barry, was discovered back in the 90s. It lived at the end of the Jurassic period, roughly 150 million years ago. The skeleton is just over 2 meters high and 5 meters long and is composed of over 80% original bone. Barry is set to be presented to the public in mid-October before going under the hammer. It's expected to fetch more than $1.7 million.
Oh, save your pennies, Moises. I know you're a big dinosaur guy. If you had the money, would you be bidding on a set of dinosaur bones?
Absolutely. I mean, if you had the space for one in your house, why not impress? Like, that'd kind of be your party trick. You invite people over. Oh yeah, by the way, come to the living room, check out my big skeleton.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, folks, later on in the newscast, not sure about dinosaurs, but we will look ahead to the upcoming Sask Entertainment Expo.
And we're looking now at your Saskatchewan photo of the day.